Welcome to Danny's Maths Hub, and today we're going to look at how we multiply and divide fractions. So now, when multiplying fractions, it's really quite nice and easy. In this situation, we can simply multiply the top two. So 1 times 5 is 5. And we can multiply the bottom two. So we can multiply our numerators and multiply our denominators. 4 times 6 is 24. Now, we check to see if we can simplify our answer, which we can't. So 1/4 times 5/6 is 5/24. Now with dividing fractions, there's an extra step we have to do. And what we do, we call this keep, change, flip. This simply means we keep the first fraction the same, we change the sign to a multiplication, and we flip our fraction. We find the reciprocal. Now the reciprocal is just when the denominator becomes a numerator and the numerator becomes a denominator. Now notice how I keep the equal sign here. We can keep the equal sign here because these two sums are equal to each other. They both give us the same answer. Once we've done the keep, change, flip, we can now go through and simply solve this. 5 times 4 is 20. 6 times 1 is 6. Now, this is not finished. If we want the answer in its simplest form, we have to now convert this to a mixed number. An improper fraction is never in its simplest form. So if you don't know how to do this, please go back and check the video before this is how we go from improper and mixed numbers. So let's have a look. How many 6's go into 20? 3, remainder 2. Now 2 6 can be simplified, so we actually have 3 and 1/3. Let's look at 5 eighths times 1/2. Well, 5 eighths times 1/2. 5 times 1 is 5. 8 times 2 is 16. Can that be simplified? Nope, we're finished. 2/7 divided by 6/11. Now, remember with this, we've got to do keep, change, flip. So we keep the first fraction the same, we change the sign, and we flip our second fraction. Then we carry on as if this is a normal multiplication. 2 times 11 is 22. 7 times 6 is 42. These are both even, so they can be simplified down to 11 over 21. This is our answer complete, and we're done. 4/5 times 7. Now this can also be written as 4/5 of 7. That's exactly the same question. Okay, it's also known as a fraction of amount. However, I'm going to show you how we solve this if we just wanted to treat it as a normal sum of 4/5 times 7. Well, what we'd need to do is we need to turn 7 into a fraction. Now remember, a fraction is just another way of writing a division. So 4 over 5 just means 4 divided by 5. And it's an easier way of writing it rather than using decimals. Times something divided by something to give us 7. Well, to keep it nice and easy, 7 divided by 1. We can just pop a 1 underneath because it still keeps it the same numerical value. Then we can complete this question as normal. 4 times 7 is 28. 5 times 1 is 5. We have 28 over 5. We now need to convert this into a mixed number so it's in its simplest form. How many 5's go into 28? 5. Remainder 3. We have our final answer, and we're done. 6 divided by 3/4. Now to do this, we still need to do the same thing. We need to change our 6 into a fraction, 6 over 1, divided by 3/4. And then we complete our keep, change, flip. 6 over 1 stays the same, divided by, that changes to a times, find the reciprocal of the fraction, 4 over 3, and we complete as normal. 6 times 4 is 24. 1 times 3 is 3. Now, this can be simplified or even turned into a mixed number. How many 3's go into 24? Well, that is 8, with no remainder. So our final answer is 8. Now this is when it gets a little bit more complicated, and this is what you can expect to appear a bit further on down your GCSE paper. And a question like this could be about 3 to 4 marks. So it's a really nice question to be able to do. So let's have a look at how we start it. Now, if we're given a question like this, the easiest thing we can do is convert it straight into an improper fraction. So 3 3/4 is an improper fraction. 3 times 4 is 12. Add the 3 is 15 quarters. 6 1/2. 6 times 2 is 12. Add the 1 is 13/2. Now, if you don't know how to convert mixed numbers into improper fractions, please go back and look at my video. It was the one I posted before this. Once we've turned this into improper fractions, we can then just complete as usual. We're working with slightly bigger numbers here, so if you have a calculator, don't be afraid to use it just to check your answers are correct. Now, you cannot plug this straight into your calculator if you have got a calculator thinking that'd be easier. If you plug this as it is straight into a calculator, you will get the wrong answer. I will show you, once we finish completing this question, how you can plug it into your calculator though afterwards. So let's go back to answering this question. We want to do 15 times 13, which is 195. And then 4 times 2 is 8. We want to turn this into an improper, we now want to turn this into a mixed number because it's currently an improper fraction. So we need to work out how many 8s go into 195. Well, it's actually 24. With a remainder, 3. Now, if we wanted to plug this into our calculator, and I'm going to show you this quickly, what we would do, we need to put a bracket, 3. Now think what this is, 3 3/4. Another way of saying and is plus. Bracket times 6 1/2. So if you wanted to answer this using your calculator, this is what you'd have to put in your calculator. So let's have a look at another question. Similar sort of thing, 2 mixed numbers, okay, but this time we're being divided. The first thing we should do is turn this into an improper fraction. So 3 3/4. 3 times 4 is 12. Add the 3 is 15 quarters. Divided by 2 1/2. 2 times 2 is 4. Add the 1 is 5. So we have 5 halves. And remember, we now keep, change, flip. So we keep the first fraction the same. We change the sign and we flip our second fractions. We find the reciprocal. 15 times 2 is 30. 4 times 5 is 20. Straight away, we can see that this can be simplified quite easily because they're both multiples of 10. So we get 3/2. So now we want to convert 3/2 into an improper fraction. How many 2's go into 3? 1 with remainder 1. This is our final answer. Remember, if you struggle with improper fractions and mixed numbers, please do go back and look at my previous video. Next question, okay? This is how we can expect it to appear maybe in the second half of our foundation paper, and this could definitely be a question at the beginning of the higher paper. And it says, find the area of this rectangle, include suitable units. Now, finding the area of a rectangle is quite a basic question. It's simply base times height. In this case, though, we have to use a fraction. Our base is 9/10, and we need to times that by the height, which is 1/4. And then this is just a simple multiplying a fraction question, but it's just laid out ever so differently. So 9 times 1 is 9, 10 times 4 is 40. This can't be simplified, so our answer is 9/40. However, this is an area question, and it's asked for suitable units. Where if these were both centimetres, and we've worked out the area, the units are centimetres squared. Now this would be anything to a 3 to a 4 mark question, just like the ones we were looking at before. However, hopefully you can see that the maths is a lot more simple, but it's the layout and understanding what the layout says, which is where you get your marks. So, please do now click the link in the description, which will take you straight to the question paper. Okay, and once you're on the question paper, there'll be direct links there linking you to a video of the answers or just the answer sheet. Well done for taking the time to sit down and watch this video. Okay, hopefully you will benefit from this and you've learned something. Until the next time, stay safe.